This topic is the circumference and area of a circle. So on this one, you have to be a little bit of a detective. You have to use information about the circumference you might have to solve something for circumference to figure out something to plug in for the area of a circle, or vice versa. So with circles, they all get their own fancy rules and fancy formulas compared to most things like other prisms and stuff like that. But to find the circumference, okay, of a circle, you're going to do pi times the diameter. Okay, 3.14 times whatever the diameter is. The measurement from one edge of the circle to the other is the diameter, not the radius, the whole diameter. You could also say that's 2 times the radius. So if they give you the radius, you'll know it. Okay, so if you ever know the diameter, you'll know the radius. If you ever know the radius, you know the diameter. Area is going to be pi times the radius squared, not the radius times 2. It's the radius times the radius. That's a very important distinction. So if you know those, circumference is just a fancy word for the perimeter of a circle. So if I took a string and outlined a circle, I could stretch that one-dimensional distance and measure it. That's my circumference. Area is what fills up the circle. So it's a different measurement. It feels the same, but it's not. Area is two-dimensional. It fills a flat shape. Think of a pancake, okay? Think of a pancake, and that will help you a little bit. So the first question on here says, the circumference of a circle is 12 pi. Okay, if I know that circumference is pi times diameter, and they say that the circumference is 12 pi, okay, well, pi is already represented in both of those, so the diameter must be that 12, okay? Diameter must be 12, okay? So diameter is 12. What's the area? Okay, well, I know that pi times the radius squared is going to be my area, right? So if I take my radius, you might be like, oh, I don't know my radius. I only know my diameter. Yes, you do. You know your radius because your radius is always half the diameter. So it's halfway across the circle. So what's half of 12? 6. So pi times 6 is going to give you the area. I'll put area on here just to be clear, okay? And you just plug that into a calculator. And that's going to give you the area of your shape. And they say express your answer in terms, even easier. I thought you were going to put into a calculator. You don't. Okay, they say express the answer in terms of pi, which just means you do all the stuff you can and just pop pi on the back. 36 is 6 times 6, so it's called 36 pi. That's going to be the answer. And they'll still label it inches, and they're squared because it's a 2D answer, so it's squared in the little corner there. Okay, but when they ask you to keep it in terms of pi, you're going to just keep that on there. That's actually more precise than making that 3.14 and having to round it. They might give you questions where they're going to say, approximate the area to the nearest hundredth or whatever, okay? I'm just looking at this. Oh, yeah, okay, because I was looking at their explanation. I was like, wait a second, that wasn't the answer, but that was just on the way to the answer, which we got. And they did get the same thing that we did, 36 pi. All right, the next one says the area. They're so tricky. So now they're telling us the area is 16 pi. So they kept it in terms of pi. Paper. Okay. And remember, I'm going to write the relationship for you here so you can see it again. Area is pi times the radius squared. Circumference, wrapping around the edges, is pi times diameter. So now they're saying, the area is 16 pi. Okay. So what's the circumference going to be? Well, I don't know the diameter, so I can't tell you yet, but I'll be able to figure it out. Pi is taken care of. So pi times radius squared, pi times 16. That means that 16 has to be some number squared. What is that number? What squared is going to equal 16? 4. Okay. Good job, guys. Way to go. Okay. 4 is your radius. Okay, that's your clue because we knew pi times something, and that something was expressed 2 different ways. So 16 had to be the same thing as r squared, and r would have been 4. So now that I know that my radius, I could tell you that my diameter is twice that. What's 2 times 4? 8. Okay, because remember, I'll say this again. Diameter goes all the way across. Radius only goes halfway across. That's why I know the relationship between those numbers. And now that I know my diameter, I can plug it into my formula for circumference, and I get pi times 8, or you could say 8 pi. It says express your answer in terms of pi, so we're done. That's so good. Okay, so you just put that on there and they keep it in with the same measurement. And notice it's one dimensional. There's no 2 in the corner. We're not measuring area. We're measuring distance around the circle, which you can make a string of and stretch it out into a flat little line. That's 1 dimension. Okay, and that's it. Just make sure you answer carefully and use what you know about one formula to help get the clues for the missing information on the next.